And welcome back to another episode of the Huge Boob Corner. I am your host, Peter McLean, and I just wanted to say I have a very, very wonderful guest here with me today. It is the incredibly gorgeous, incredibly busty Bambi Jo. Thank you so much for being here.
I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited. By the way, you are looking stunning right now. Stunning.
I did it all for you.
And that makes me feel so
Nails,
loved.
hair, makeup,
Everything.
Everything.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Makes
You're
me feel like I
important.
should have put more effort.
Nope. You look handsome.
Oh, thank you.
I mean,
very much.
Always.
Thank you very
You're
much.
You're welcome.
So anyway, well, I'm so excited to have you on the show. I know we were talking about it for you to be on for a little while, and but we decided to wait a little bit because that way you could be a little more,
recovered.
Recovered. So, I mean, I don't know. Do you want to talk about that at all? All right, sure. So,
I'm open book.
All right, so let's get into it in terms of what you've been going through recently.
So basically, my last surgery, I went up to 2,800 cc's.
Very nice.
And I loved it. And I thought, this will be it, which it's not going to be it.
Yeah, you get that
it's
feeling.
Just not. So. It went from 1,600 to 2,800, and then all of a sudden something started to change, and my body rejected it.
Ooh, okay.
So had to go emergency trip to the doctor, have it removed. So for 4 months, I have been living with one 2,800 cc and one 0. So
you were doing the mono boob lifestyle. How was that?
Horrible.
Yeah.
Not fun. I mean, I'd go out in public and things, but I had to find the best way. Like I got falsies. They're super heavy. So I went and I had these little tiny fleece blankets. So I'd put a two blankets around it, stuff it in, and it passed. It even fooled later on it fooled one of my doctors.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. So, but now finally I have it back in.
It's back there.
It's a little higher, but it's getting there, but it's just good to feel complete.
Yeah. Oh, I can imagine. I mean, were you did you feel off balance?
Yes and no. Like when I slept, I had to put a towel or something here because it's like,
okay.
So, but other than that, I just always had a little towel or something. So it wasn't like flying around everywhere crazy.
Sure.
But I just did not feel like myself.
Oh, I can understand that, yeah.
Not that that's all I am, but that's part of my identity. I love boobs.
Yeah.
And I just had these great boobs put in, and then there goes one.
Yeah.
So it was a process, but I finally felt confident enough to start taking pictures, even with just one. So, yes, there were a lot of one-sided booby pictures.
Yeah. I didn't even realize that until you told me that what you had done. So
you have to tilt yourself a little bit. And it is what it is. So, but now I'm just happy to have them back. I'll need one more surgery to even out, touch up, but hoping.
They look phenomenal.
Thank you.
So, I mean, obviously, it's funny though because when they're on you, you can notice them a lot more in detail than someone just from the outside.
Yeah, and I always forget how big they are.
Really?
Sometimes because I look down, and of course, if somebody's like, "You have something on you," I'm like, "I can't see it." Or tying my shoes, things like that.
I feel like that should be the goal. Be like, I want boobs so big I cannot see below them.
Yes, exactly. And I'm hoping the next surgery I can make them both bigger. I'm debating on even out. Let's live that way for a little bit and then go bigger. Or am I done? But every year I say I'm done, and I always go bigger. Yeah. And I just tell them as much as possible.
Yeah.
So I don't even have a goal, just as much as possible.
Well, and I mean, it's got to be. Sometimes because I know that I've seen other women that go through this where it gets, it's really emotional because, you lost that's a part of you.
Yeah.
I mean, people might not realize that or think about that because they think, it's just it's an implant or it's this, but no, it's part of you.
Yeah. It was part of your body, and it's
like losing a limb or something.
Yeah. For a little while. So you're walking around learning to live life with one. But the thing is, it really put into perspective that luckily mine can be fixed. But there are a lot of women who are unfortunate, even men with breast cancer and things, and they have to go through this for a different reason. Luckily, so I looked at it through that way as mine will be fixed. Yeah. So it's the least of my worries, but it just was not fun.
So when they did it, because you said it's one's sitting higher right now.
One's just because it's swollen from being put in. So one's a little higher.
Okay, so when the swelling goes down a little bit,
they'll be normal.
It'll be good.
Yes.
All right. So, and you had that done in California?
Miami.
Okay. Okay. So was that Revis or is that somebody else?
Yeah.
It was okay. I want to have him on the show at some point because I feel like that guy would be. I feel like I'd have to go to Miami though. I don't know if he travels, but
I have no idea. But there's a lot of good doctors now. I'm possibly thinking about different types of implants, which he may not do. So I'm looking at different doctors for those. Right. So
what do you have right now?
We'll see. Just overfilled saline.
Okay.
I like that.
Okay.
But yet everybody's bodies are different. Like one shoulder of mine drops slower than the other. So I'd like to maybe have the ability to make one a little bigger than the other.
Okay.
With little, fills and things with expanders. But so I'm kind of researching different possibilities.
And don't they feel different, like depending on what's in there, or they all kind of feel the same?
Oh, no. I had the gummy bear silicone ones first. I had started at like basically a small B naturally, then went to 400 cc's. And boy, I thought, ooh, this is huge. Look at these. And then I went to 800 and like, oh my gosh. Like, I can't believe this. Like I have a bigger rib cage in my, so they didn't look as big as they should have, like it would on most people. And then I went to 1600. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah, so I doubled it.
Now you're starting to see
now
like
we're making a little waves.
Well, because you were telling me before how like you'd always dreamt of looking the way you do now.
Yes.
And so how did that come about where like, how old were you when you thought to yourself, I want to look like that?
I was very young.
Yeah.
I grew up in a little rural, nowhere town. Everyone needs to stick to the guidelines of looking like you grew up in a little rural town, Couldn't have any colorful hair. There's one girl in high school that dressed like more dangerous, I think, like different like fashion sense than the normal jeans and a plaid shirt. You know what I mean? So I started to follow her lead, like, wow, she's doing it, I can too. But even since I was like 5, 6 years old, I just thought the female figure was so beautiful.
It is.
And this is what I find beautiful for me.
Yeah.
Other people have different visions and I think they're great.
Of course, yeah.
But to me, this is what I always wanted. And I literally had to move out of state to really find the nerve to, you know what? I'm my own person. I'm going to go ahead and get bigger boobs.
Yeah.
Because I've always, always, always wanted them.
Yeah.
And because I wanted them. So started doing that in South Carolina and went to 800 and then moved to California and decided, I think I'm ready to go a little bigger.
Yeah.
A little bigger. So that I doubled them. And then a year later, I'm like, okay, I'm done. 1600's huge. A year later, 2800 comes along. But I mean, look, I was with one of my girlfriends. She's my best friend forever. And we'd sneak out to this little barn outside her dad's house. And we found all of his secret stash of Playboys.
Oh, there you go.
And, just they were so beautiful. It wasn't nasty pictures of them. Or
no. Very glamorous, very tasteful.
Yeah. So that's the picture I have. And, growing up in that town, they're like, oh, those girls who do that are just, going to hell or whatever. But I've always wanted to be glamorous and gorgeous like that. It's funny because now you look at Playboy looks so tame compared to every tame.
Like, yes. I mean, I don't even think they show nudity anymore. I think they're
not even a magazine. I miss the magazine. I still have magazines.
Yeah.
There are certain issues because I used to collect them and I'd have boxes and boxes full, and I've kept a few of my most prized issues. Of course, Pam.
Sure.
The Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah,
I mean, it was the redone one, but still. And there's a couple more in there, but yeah, there's some that I will never give up.
I think my favorite was Anna Nicole Smith's first because she was for me. She was a life-changing person for me. I remember seeing her when I was super young.
Yes,
because a friend of mine had Playboys. Probably I don't want to say how old I was because it'll seem a little bad, but I remember one of the issues he had was because it was like 93 was I think one of the first things, and I remember seeing her and I was thinking to myself, wow.
Right. She was the most in every set, the best figure. She's
still probably my favorite of any Playboy model ever. I mean, she just and what, she was so beautiful, and she had such a beautiful body, and her boobs were amazing because, Playboy, they didn't really focus as much on boobs. You could have a lot of smaller breasted women in there. So seeing very large breasts, I feel like in Playboy wasn't as,
what?
Yeah, it wasn't as common. I mean, you'd see some but they were usually maybe like, big B, small C's, stuff like that. Whereas I think she was like a double D, which again,
right.
Now that sounds small to someone who's seen lots larger.
But I still, that was like the hit where everyone's like, ooh, maybe I can. Yeah. I always thought of Anna Nicole Smith as the Jane Mansfield to Marilyn Monroe. Mm-hmm. And Pam is the Marilyn Monroe and she's the Jane Mansfield. So, where she was a little more of the shapely, curvaceous, showing off.
Yeah. And she definitely had... I think, she definitely, I think, was a lot more overtly just vivacious with her look. Yep. Whereas, because Marilyn could still look classy, and she could still look very beautiful and shapely without being, and I'm not trying to say that there's anything wrong with being more, more out there, but there's a difference. But there was a difference. Whereas your Jane Mansfields, your Mae Wests, they were a lot more...
free spirit.
Yeah, they were much more.
This is me. I'm not apologizing.
Exactly.
And that's what I love. And that's what I wanted to be my whole life.
So would you say then it's kind of like that attitude you had, and then you wanted the body to go with the attitude?
Exactly. You couldn't be free. You couldn't be who you wanted to be where I grew up. Mm-hmm. You had to conform. And I just had that. I just want to be myself. Can everyone just leave me alone and let me be who I want to be? Yeah. And I'm like, okay, now I can physically be, because I'm finally older and an adult to where I can just be myself.
Exactly. So like when you came out and you had that first job, I don't know if it was when you went to 800 or 1600, where you were just like, you started to feel more like who you knew you were. Yeah, you're getting okay, so you're getting closer. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, I would say the 800.
Okay.
I mean, the 400 was like, oh, wow. But very quickly was I ready to go larger. Yeah. I wanted bigger than 800. I was like, let's do this, but not realizing they could only go so big at that time. Yeah. With the silicone. And I thought, because all you ever heard about were these fantastic gummy bear implants, and saline was not good, and this, that, and the other. But 800, when I got there, I'm like, okay, this is fun, but I don't think I'm done yet. Yeah. I just don't feel me yet. Yeah. So then when I went to 1600, that's where I got a little bit more close to, and then the 2800, I'm like, this is it. Yeah. I really love it. Now, I also have to be careful that I watch out and I'm not just going bigger, because when you first get them, they're so big and swollen and huge and awesome. And then this swelling starts to go down. It's almost like a given disappointment. Like, I love them now. You're used to it. And then
they kind of deflate a little bit, and you're just like no, come back.
So now I need to go bigger to get back to that point, So, but, that's where I have to be careful. But I would love to be like 3,500, 4,000. Yeah. I'm small.
Sure.
But like I said, I can handle it because like my rib cage is just a little bit bigger. So I feel I need to go bigger to be.
They've got more. Yeah. You got more support in your torso area.
Yeah. And I just want them.
Yeah. I'm curious. Is there anybody back in the town that you grew up in that's like still there that like, have you thought about maybe just going back one day and just kind of strutting?
Everybody does, like if a high school reunion comes around, it'd be like, that would be so fun to be like, hi. Because I was always cute in high school and part of that group, but not the hottest. You know what I mean? I wanted all of that.
You wanted all the heads to turn as you walked. Yes.
Everybody wants that feeling. Men, women, everyone wants that feeling of, who's this? Like, you have some importance. Mm-hmm. But now I know I would, but the way the town is, I know it would be like, I don't even go back home to visit my parents. Like, they come see me. Okay. Because it'll just be a bunch of people going,
that judgmental.
What's with that hair? What's with those boobs? What's with the, whatever. When you're on my turf, I can handle you.
Sure.
But when you go back home, you kind of slip back into that little kid you used to be. Yeah. And I don't want to battle with that and the questions, and people think they're funny, like, oh, look at those boobs or hair, you've changed. And it's like, well, You haven't because you're stuck in the same little shit town I got out of.
And that's unfortunate. And people will have these closed minds and think that they want, or that they can pass judgment and think, well, this is somebody who looks so different and she doesn't really fit in. But then again, that's why you left.
Yes.
And
I wanted to be me. I wanted to be whoever it was. It could have been shaving my head and having 8 nose rings or what. It doesn't matter. I just did not know what, but it wasn't that.
Yeah. Well, and that's important that you realize to do that, because a lot of people will put what they want aside just so they can feel like they can either fit in or because they want to appease other people.
Yes.
And, it's, and that's not to say that people that do that are wrong. It's just they make that choice. Yeah. And if they can find some sort of happiness in that life, then great.
Good for them.
But, if you know that that's not going to be a satisfying life for you, and it seems like you knew that pretty early on.
Yeah, I knew if I didn't get out of here, I was done.
So was it because how many people would you say were in the town that you grew up in?
My high school had a senior class of 100.
Really?
So about 100 per grade.
Okay.
It was a very, very small town. Like I said, 20 minutes to the nearest flashing yellow light.
Yeah.
Like, I grew up on a farm, a really big farm, like a real farm, not a garden. Like, I have a farm.
No.
Like, it's a huge farm. So I grew up, I worked on the farm, in the fields and stuff. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I would never trade that for the world.
Yeah.
It was great. But...
Well, so I'm curious, did you do the, all that type of farm work and was it something that really helped develop you as a person when you were younger?
Yeah. Well, it taught me good work ethic.
And that's really important.
Very hard work ethic. And also with farming, you can't guarantee anything.
Okay.
The weather one year can take everything from you. If it's a drought or the weather, you're gambling the whole time. But I loved it. And I asked my father, I want to take over the farm when you retire. He's like, no. Mm-hmm. Like, why? Because I'm a girl. He has nothing to do with that. I don't want my, daughter worrying and wondering and stressing the rest of her life like I have.
Yeah.
So I got it. But I used to drive the combines, the tractors, and all that. Did it better than the boys. Because my parents were like, if you're going to do it the best you can and all the way, or don't even bother.
So it sounds like then you were able to build a really strong foundation just in yourself to build on.
Yeah, exactly.
So, which I think is really crucial.
Yeah, it has to be. I know.
Because people, I'm sure when people see you, they might not think that initially, because again, people have these perceptions of somebody when they see how they look, especially when huge boobs and stuff like that. But to know that, you could, you've got a lot more there.
Yeah. It's not that I want someone to just, like, some people would think, oh, she just wants someone to take care of her whole life. Like, no, I have busted my ass to do everything and anything I have ever done.
Yeah.
But no one would think I grew up on a farm.
Really? Yeah.
Like, would that have been your first guess?
No, I'll be honest, but not because of the look. No, not because of the look though, because I can't know where somebody's from just based on how they look. But, I guess because I'll be honest, I haven't met many people that grew up like that. So, I don't want to call myself like a city guy because I didn't grow up in a huge area either, but I grew up more like in the Palm Springs area.
Oh yeah. Oh,
which is it's nice.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's a cool spot. A lot of older people.
I like older people.
Yeah.
I go to dinner at like 4:30 or 5.
Yeah. Right.
I do.
I like early dinners too. You can always get seats. You can always get reservations. Yes. You don't have to fight
and
for
it's
quiet. Yes. Yeah.
We'll have to go to dinner at 5.
Yeah. There's so many great, I'm a steakhouse guy. I don't know if you are,
I like everything. I mean, it can be vegan to steakhouse to whatever. Okay. I like all.
Yeah, because there's a lot of great steakhouses here I want to try eventually. Yeah. And but every time I'll be like, what's your earliest reservation I can make? It's
Me too.
4:35.
Well, they always have it too.
Exactly. And they're never going to be booked.
Sign me up.
Exactly.
And I don't like a huge crowd. It's weird. I like attention, but I don't like a lot of focused attention. Like when I was a kid, if it was my birthday and everyone sang to me, I started crying. I don't know why. It was weird.
I mean, I don't know. Well, because here's the thing. Because I feel the same way. Because you get a little. I feel like you get a little nervous or embarrassed when everybody's looking at you and everybody's I feel like, I think that's not. I think that's a psychological thing that's not super uncommon because again, depending on what you're doing, if everybody's looking at you, and you just feel like you're under like interrogating light or something.
Now other people love it. They're like, I love everyone, looking at me at one time. I'm like, not me. I mean, it's fine for attention, and most of the times I'm so oblivious. I'm walking through and friends are like, did you see them all looking at you? I'm like, no. I'm just walking. I have a place to go and I'm on my way. I'm not looking around. No clue.
So but I'm wondering, because like if you went somewhere with a group of like other women, with super busty women and stuff like that, and you're all just drawing attention, but it's not going to be all. They're gonna be scanning.
It'll be divided up. I'll be fine with that.
Yeah, exactly, because everybody's going there. But
if it's just everybody against me,
right.
I can't.
So I'm curious, when you left was it kind of overwhelming to move to a bigger place initially?
Yes.
Really?
It was. And actually, I started out in North Carolina in Charlotte. Okay. So it was bigger, but it was still kind of small where I started out. And then went to South Carolina. Still kind of the same feeling. But when I went to California, I was like, whoa. Where
in California did you go?
Like near LA.
Okay, so and that's a whole other animal.
Yes. So I'm like, what the world? Like I just stepped into a different world.
Yeah.
Because South Carolina, it's like, yes, they have their quote unquote big cities, but they're really towns to me.
Yeah.
But now that I've been to LA, and that's where I really decided and got a hold of who I really was.
Yeah.
And that's when I did the red hair and everything. I felt free to do whatever. And nobody cared.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah, bright red hair. I love it. It's cute. Thank you.
Yeah, I love the fire engine red. Yeah, that's a great color.
Thank you.
It's how long have you had it like that?
About a year now.
Okay.
Or maybe a year and a half or so.
Okay.
Went from really bright blonde to brown, dark brown.
Interesting.
To this. I'm naturally brown hair, but it's a yucky brown.
Okay.
Just not a good brown. So when I went to brown, it started to go like almost black, but that was a witch. Like, so I had to back it up a little bit.
Okay.
And then did red streaks. I'm like, let's just go all red. And there we go. And
you loved it?
Love it.
No, it's wonderful. Like I've always been a big fan of the bright, like deep cherry red.
Yes.
Or what, I don't know what's the actual like.
I don't know. One person did it and it was called Poppy.
Yeah.
And then another one did it. I don't know what it's called now.
You look at paint samples and it's just like there's like 30 reds
They're
or
like,
something.
Is
You're
that
just like,
the orange side of blue or the I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Just make it look good.
Yeah. And it's just and it's amazing too, because like when was there a point when, say, either you did your hair or something, when you're like, when you just you were like, wow, I look really different now, and I look, but like in a good way, not like in a bad way, but just like, if you look at yourself, how you looked maybe a few years beforehand, and you look at yourself now, and you're just like completely different people.
Yeah. It's like, when like Google Photos or whatever app says, remember these memories?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Comes up like from a year later, 2 years later, 5 years. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's unreal. I love how I look now.
Yeah.
I don't ever say, ooh, I need to go back to that.
Sure.
I loved every step of the process, but I don't think blonde was a good idea. But I did it because everyone loved blonde sin.
Yeah.
And I thought maybe blonde will work for me. And I'm like, I'm not doing this for me, so let's go brown now,
And blonde works for some, works for Pam, works for Anna, but doesn't necessarily work for everybody.
Just washed me out. It doesn't work good for me.
And I'll be honest, I feel like there's not as many redheads. Like, I think that the busty redhead, which is, a great crowd pleaser.
Yes.
I think though, but I think it's very underutilized.
It is. It is, especially like the bright red. Like, you have your natural reds, but those sometimes tend to go on the blondish side.
Or they can be more auburn, like a darker shade. Yeah.
But I was like, if I'm doing it, I'm going all out.
Yeah. Well, and red draws your eye. Like, it's, as a color, They'd say like
it's I don't like focused attention. Yeah, right. Let's do really bright red hair and big boobs.
Yeah,
like
please don't give me so much attention, but give me some.
I know,
but not too. You're doing a little too much now.
Back up, sir. Yeah.
So, but you're really trying to see the point. Yeah. But I don't know. I always walk around with someone with bigger boobs, and then they'll draw the focus.
Yes,
but you'll get some, but you won't get all of it.
Well, it's like when I go first time I got my hair done here. They're like, "Well, maybe if we do this, it'll look more natural." I'm like, what about me says natural? From my nails to my boobs to the color of my hair, like nothing.
Yeah.
To my lip injections, to my, I'm not for natural, so let's forget that idea.
Well, but what's great though, because you're such a sweet person.
Oh, thank you.
And what I love is being able to be in a position where I can show that we can show that to other people.
Yeah.
Because again, when you see a woman that looks so amazing, like you do, and you think, wow, I mean, what could she be like? I mean, I couldn't even imagine what kind of, maybe approaching her, maybe talk, what she would be like to talk to her. And it's just, it's really rewarding to be able to meet so many amazing people, like you or like Ava, when I met her, just that there's these great, wonderful people.
Right.
So
and she loved you, and she told me you're gonna love him. I'm like, I'm on it.
Yeah. Well,
and we have two fans, me and Ava.
I really appreciate the fact that she, that she spoke so highly of me, and that you're here as a result.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So now that you've been doing this, and so you're looking to get you've been modeling for how long?
Just really a couple of years.
Okay.
Really.
And it was mainly just like OnlyFans stuff, or what?
OnlyFans, Instagram, Twitter, that. Okay. There's been a couple of things I've done for products.
Sure.
Like bikinis or earrings or whatever.
Hair care should be all over you. L'Oreal or,
L'Oreal, get off your little
whoever does, hair products.
I know.
Vidal Sassoon.
I know. I mean,
Paul Mitchell.
Like, why not?
So I'm sure, your hair looks very well treated.
Yes, it is. It got treated today very well.
Nice.
By Justine at Moonlit.
Great.
She's great. She's awesome, sweet.
Nice.
It's all because of Ava introduced me. So it's if you need to know anything about Vegas.
Yeah, she's very knowledgeable for sure.
Yes, she is.
Very helpful.
I know, she's
great. So then you've done a little bit of modeling. Do you look at yourself as wanting to do more in the future?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to. But everything got a hitch sewn into it once.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
Can't really do porn or anything else when you have one boob. That's just, I'm sure there's a market for it. There's a market for everything. Literally.
Yeah.
I could have started a trend, but I decided not to.
Yeah. Well,
because I'd have to stay that way.
Sure.
I'd be a pioneer, and I'm not going to do that. So, now then I'll
corner the monokini market.
Right? Just use the bottom of the bikini.
Right, yeah. Just two bottoms doing that, yeah.
So, I'm going to do more of the videos, like actual porn. Do more on my OnlyFans than I was able to. I did everything I could.
Sure.
But there's certain things that you just weren't able to, like, calls and different things like that. But, I want to actual shoot.
Like, do you want to work for companies, or do you want to just kind of do your own thing?
No, companies as in what?
Like Brazzers, Bang Bros.
It'd be fun. I don't know if I want to be tied to a
company. Yeah. Yeah, like under a contract or something.
I guess more like a freelancer.
Sure.
I have a couple of them asking me, and it's like, it's a possibility, but let's see, what's going on.
I mean, they could definitely sign you up for some good MILF scenes.
Right.
I mean, there's
it took me a while to get used to the MILF. It was like being in South Carolina. It took me a while to get used to be called ma'am.
Really?
Because even if you're 10 years old and you're a girl, you still use the word, thank you, ma'am. Like, you call that 10-year-old girl ma'am and sir, all that. So I had to get used to it that it's not derogatory. It's like a compliment. So MILF, at first I'm like, am I really? I'm like, yes, I am. So I finally,
I guess from a genre perspective, because I mean,
no, I totally am.
Yeah.
I mean, and I love it. I love it. I love the MILF. It's who doesn't want to be that older woman who's still seen as
super sexy, desirable, and has a lot of sexual energy.
Because around your 30s, 35, a long time ago, you would have been put out to pasture bye.
Yeah.
Now You could be in your 40s, 50s, 60s. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You're still hot and sexy. You're seen as hot and sexy. You aren't thrown away anymore.
No.
You don't feel like it. So we can put on the makeup. We can have the boobs. We can dress great. You know, we don't have to give up on ourselves because everyone's telling
all
you
of a sudden you've aged to the point. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's what I love about it. So I'm like, hell yeah, I'm a MILF. I'll be a MILF, a GILF, whatever.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, later on. I mean, I have no kids, so I can't really be a GILF,
I guess,
can.
You know, cougar is also, you know, good, you know.
Absolutely. That's
good
fine.
One. Yeah.
I love men of all ages, as long as they're legal.
Yes, obviously. Obviously.
Statement.
Yeah.
But you know, it's a lot of times it's funny. Guys are like, oh, I'm probably not built enough for you or this, that. Like, y'all need to get it out of your heads that every girl wants this really muscular, you know, type. Yeah. No, that's not my thing.
And, you know, it's really interesting because I feel like women, because every woman's different in terms of what she's attracted to. Yep. And granted, not that physical doesn't matter at all, but I think that people... Again, because I used to buy into this when I was younger. I used to think that I had to have this kind of, you know, 6-pack gym body kind of, you know, look to me. And so I got, you know, I was really hard on myself on my looks for a long time because of that.
And there was no reason to be, you know. But you guys go through it too, just like we do on that factor. And what I hate the most are the guys who work out all the time. They've got these abs and they're like, yeah, I don't have to try anymore. All the girls love me. Like, no, we don't. Or I don't. If you can make me laugh and we have a good time and we enjoy like watching crime shows because I love them, or we can go out and try new restaurants because I love going out to new restaurants.
Yeah. Or traveling.
Or traveling or whatever. Or just sitting at home because I'm a big hermit.
Just enjoying each other's company.
Yes. Like that is sexier to me than anything. And I'm being honest. Like I love the fact if somebody makes me laugh and if I can look over at them and they don't realize they made me laugh because it's just they just said something off random. Yeah. I'm just like, you are the best, like the most handsome, like sexiest person I've ever known. Yeah. That's what means the most to me. So, but yeah, guys, don't worry about all your abs and stuff. Not every girl wants that.
Yeah. And, you know.
As long as you care about yourself. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying be, you know.
You don't have complete you don't have complete apathy of how you look.
Exactly. I didn't shower for 2 weeks and I ate 14 subs. You know, like no. But you know what I mean?
I get it. Well, and it's just that's interesting because I'm wondering because I imagine do you think that men would be intimidated trying to approach you because of how you look? Like because
I think so.
You're so attractive
well, I don't think I know I look good, but I've never been one that like I am so hot. Now I'm like, ooh, I look good today. Yeah. But I would never think of myself as hard to approach, but people have told me they were scared to approach me. And I'm like, well, why? I'm just me, but they don't know that.
And that's the thing. Yeah. And that's
the hard thing. It's as long as people approach you in a respectful manner, not like the guys are like, woohoo, look at that. Like that is not.
Or men that think that again, like the kind of guys that think that you should be into them and that they just show up and they think they're so good looking that's all they need to be.
That makes me want to throw up. Well,
I mean, because I feel like it's really boring.
It is boring and I don't want that. I'm not. Yeah. And the only thing they're going to talk about is, hey, I did their workout. Yeah. I don't care. Yeah. I want to talk about more stuff than that of, you know, and I don't like talking about working out. I don't work out. I hate working out. Yeah. If I have to, I will.
Well, and that,
but it's not one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah, it's not called fun. It's not funning out. No. It's working out.
Exactly. It's work. And you hate work. Yeah.
It's tough.
I like the work I do now.
Sure. Well, and that's because if you start shooting more, you know, more adult stuff, I mean, that's physical.
And I've always had this, like, even though I didn't act on it, I had just very sexual thoughts and feelings, like more of a sexual being. I never acted on it or said anything, but I just felt more in tune with myself growing up. Yeah. And coming from this little tiny town, of course, I didn't have sex until after high school, all this. And then I went to college and it was a huge university and boy, all those feelings came out. Yeah. And I'm like, wow, I could actually have fun. Yeah. Reasonably.
Sure.
But it opened a new door that, wow. So I started learning. And once girls learn about what they like and with a guy who cares about what they like, that's a game changer. Because usually younger girls are just more interested in having the guy enjoy himself. Get over that. If you want to enjoy yourself, and they'll love that.
Well, here's the thing. We're pretty easy.
Yes.
I'll just say that. Like, I know some guys might disagree, but
it's pretty easy.
We're not that difficult to figure out sexually.
Girls got stuff where men can't even describe where it is. So it's like
I would.
What's that part?
Depending on it's so I can understand that, and I can now it's great if you can because I feel like great sexual partners want the other person to have pleasure.
Yes.
Just naturally.
Thank you. Yes. So, not trying too hard. Nothing. Just go for it, have fun, enjoy yourselves, and it's going to be the best time ever.
Yeah. So it's not wrong, say, for instance, for a woman to want her partner to feel good, but they should also get that reciprocated.
Yes, don't forget about yourself too, which a lot of times we would.
Yeah.
But now it's like, no, we both need to have fun, not just him. So.
But now I'm sure you can recognize if you're with a partner, like, okay, this person cares about me. This person, like, for instance, do you mind if they ask questions?
Oh, ask
because
away.
Like, because I like asking questions because I was like, what do you like?
Yes.
How am I going to know?
And beforehand, not during.
Yeah, sure. Now,
about this maneuver, beforehand, like,
you're
have
like
a
between the
discussion.
legs.
Yeah.
So I got a question right now. So can we stop for a moment? Because I got.
So it's like you were doing just fine, but now we got to start.
I need to take a note down here. So
I got a pencil.
I'll just get back to it in a second.
I know.
But I'm just trying to figure this all out. But I think a lot of men, unfortunately, are they don't want to ask because they want to think they know, or that whatever they do is going to be fine, and
they don't want the girl to think they don't know how to pleasure a woman. It's like,
but
we all don't know everything about. No,
it's not about that.
No, it's not, and that's
everybody
needs to get out of their own heads.
Yeah,
and then and then just have fun. It's supposed to be fun, not work.
No, exactly. And you shouldn't stress about it. It shouldn't be something and that gives you anxiety going into it.
Right. And I don't want a guy to be so nervous.
Yeah.
That he's like then embarrassed later, like, I was too nervous. Like, happens.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. Well, I mean, the girls, like, we don't have to worry about certain things rising.
It's different. Yeah. It's a different experience.
Now we have to be in the mood, but we don't need a certain part to rise.
And there is a lubrication issue with women.
Yes.
Because, I mean, unless you naturally are just always like that.
Which too much.
Yeah. Some people can't be, which I imagine that's a little problematic, though. Yeah. You're
I love this conversation.
Yeah, right.
But it's, you'd have a good happy medium.
Yeah,
but
right.
Yes.
But because if it's dry down there, it's
not fun at all.
There's too much friction.
Yes, fire starter. Yeah, that's not too much fun.
And you gotta figure out a way to
assistance. I like the cotton candy flavored.
Really? Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense considering your aesthetic.
Right. Exactly. It's called like Lube Life or something like that.
Okay.
Cotton candy of all different flavors, but
cotton
candy's the best.
Okay. So, I mean, and granted, it's not like right? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for that. So, anyway, so you've been here. So how long have you been in Vegas then?
It will be a year in November.
And what was that? So you were in like the LA area, and what made you decide to come up here? Because was it just there were things about Vegas that were more appealing to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Wasn't as big.
Not as big. It's a little more manageable of a city, and it's a lot of things to do and experience. And I felt like I've done it all in California. Everywhere I've lived is a natural disaster at some point.
Really?
Like I lived through hurricanes in South Carolina, stayed for some, left for others.
Yeah.
In California, was evacuated from my house one year for the wildfires. It's like, so came here. Yeah, you got your little monsoons.
Yeah, we don't
and
have much here.
Nothing big. And like they're easily dealt with.
They're manageable.
Yes, very much so. And honestly, like the cost of living and everything is nice. There's
no state income tax.
Right, exactly. So it's just very beneficial in a lot of ways. I don't know. I've always wanted to live here.
Really?
I mean, like from 20 years ago, I always wanted to live here coming from, Indiana or South Carolina or whatever, like fly in here to visit, which it was a totally different place then.
Sure. Oh yeah. No, this is a very different city.
The great old Vegas. I miss that. But I do still love the glamorous part of the Vegas.
Yeah.
You know, people still get dressed to go out.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
California, you're in your sweats and flip-flops. You could be going to Spago, don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I still dress, but other people didn't there. You know, here it's a little more glamour to it.
Well, yeah.
But I've always wanted to live here. So did it.
Well, and you have a body made for being glamorous. I mean, well, I'm just saying though, but like to wear dresses, gowns, things like that. I mean, I feel like certain clothing just is much, you feel nicer in them.
I mean, it's hard to find clothing sometimes. I have a few, like a select 2 or 3 stores, or it just needs to be stretchy.
Okay.
Because
nothing wrong with that.
No, I mean, my next project hopefully will be working on the backside.
Okay.
Getting that a little bigger.
Sure.
But it has to be stretchy to fit here and then here.
Obviously, yes. So like, what is your favorite thing about having huge boobs?
I like to just, honestly, I like laying in bed and I rub them.
Yeah?
They're comforting.
Yeah, are they?
They are. They just lay there, and I just at night I do that if I can't sleep, and I fall asleep.
Yeah.
They're comforting, and I just...
You know, boobs are actually scientifically proven to relieve stress.
Yes.
Like squeezing them.
And they do. Yes, and they do.
Yeah.
But I'll just sit there, and I'm like all the time, and I've got to watch myself when I'm outside the house. Because I'll do that. I'll be sitting there, and I'm like, oh. But that, and I feel more voluptuous. I mean, I've always been skinny and not big boobs, no butt, nothing. And now I feel like I have some curves and a little more shape. Yeah. And I feel more, I don't know, it's helped me feel more sexual.
Sure.
Even though I've always been sexual, it's like giving that extra bump. Like I fit the look
like a
of how I feel.
physical representation of it.
Yes.
Because boobs are a very sexual, body part.
And I've always loved other people's boobs. There's
They're pretty fun, aren't they?
Yes. Mm-hmm. I just love them. And I've always been obsessed. And now I have my own. Yeah. And I don't know. I've always been obsessed with boobs.
It's
hard not to be.
They're
awesome.
They are. They're amazing. I mean,
I can't run anymore. But
yeah, that might be a little difficult.
I won't sink.
No, you won't.
That's what's funny in the pool. It's like doing this.
The person sits next to you on the plane. They're like, "I'm going to be fine."
Yes, I am.
I'm just going to hold on to your waist if we go in the water, and I'll just
hold on to me. I've got us all. That's right.
Yeah. So
that's what I love the most. They're very, I don't know. Mm-hmm. I just love the look. I love having huge breasts. Just the way it feels to have them. I just love it. You walk and I look at a mirror and I'm like, yeah, look at those. Do you
love being with someone that loves to just like play with them and just like...
Yeah. That also relaxes me. Like, really? I'll just be like, can you please rub me? Mm-hmm. And they're like, yes.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
I know, right? You turned me down last time, so I'm not going there. I'm just kidding. Maybe if you go to dinner with me, then I'll let you rub them.
Oh, well.
It's a hard task.
I know, but somebody's got to do it, right?
Right. You're the man.
Who better?
No one.
Well, I'm just saying.
What I'm saying.
So, because the people who treat the boobs the best are the ones who love them the most.
Yes, exactly. If you mistreat them, then you know. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm sure you're pretty good at it.
I'd like to think so. I would. If there was an Olympics for boob rubbing, I feel like I can make that team every year.
I want references to make sure you're not lying. I don't think you're lying, though.
No, I wouldn't. I would never lie about that.
No, they're sacred.
So I'm curious then, because you had these, these role models that you looked at from a personality standpoint. Were there ones that, from a boob standpoint, like a Dolly Parton?
Yes.
She was a very big,
Bingo.
She was like because she got them in like the 70s.
Icon, yes, the icon of boobs. And I used to watch her when she would come on Johnny Carson.
Okay, yeah. God, I miss him. That was a great show.
Yes, that was a great show. It was awesome. And I would watch her come on there or reruns or whatever.
Yeah.
I even had the best of VHS tapes. If you don't know what VHS is, it's
I do.
Cassette tape.
I do. I had my own rewinder.
Yes, thank you.
There you go.
Those times. Yeah. But I would watch her and she just never apologized. She was full out, and just her books and the way she would say things like, I'm not apologizing.
No.
I think this is beautiful. This is how I am. You either like it or basically F off.
Yeah.
You know, and she is just probably the most giving, best person I've ever seen.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I would, if I could ever have her on the show, I would be, I mean, it's a wish, obviously, just
I would
because
give you anything you want, and I mean anything you want in life. If you have her on here, to have me even just like near this building.
But it's funny because I don't know if she realized that she would become such a trailblazer.
Yeah.
I'm sure she got them because she wanted them, and that's what she wanted.
Exactly.
And the fact that, and it's funny because, because she's a really talented singer too. It's not she's not just boobs. Yeah.
Back then they're like, you have huge tits. It's like, but she also donates a lot of money in children's books and gives to people and paid all of her employees through COVID and, great singer and artist and writer. And oh my gosh,
and
actress.
She's got to be one of the most successful country singers
of all time,
if not one of the just American singers of all time.
Exactly. She's just, and people forget about that, but she was not apologetic for how she looked, and I love that. Like, her wigs were always perfect, and she wasn't shy about saying, yes, it's a wig.
Yeah.
Like, who cares? Like,
but it was meant to be more. It was meant to represent more of her personality because these big, just fun hairstyles.
But she's like, it's not hurting you, so what do you care?
Well, and it's funny because the character, and it's, I always say it's funny. I feel like it's not funny. It's like it's one of those things where you say a word where you're just like, But when a lot of the movies that she was in, like 9 to 5 and Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, and I think it was Straight Talk was an early 90s one where she always played these very unapologetic, strong women.
Yes.
But still maintaining her femininity and her beauty without.
And I love that they did that.
Yeah.
That they didn't make her play the idiot.
Or that they didn't try to make her too masculine in the roles.
Yeah.
She kept her femininity, which was great.
They would always put a pair of glasses on the one they were trying to make masculine. Like, what is that?
Well, like Jane Fonda in 9 to 5.
Just put on your glasses. Oh, you're a man.
Right. Being a ball buster, I guess putting glasses makes it soft. Maybe maybe it looks because Dolly was always the pretty one in everything.
Yes, even though Jane Fonda was gorgeous.
Oh no,
herself,
she was.
But Dolly was the beauty.
She was, and
rightfully so.
Oh yeah, and it's amazing that she's maintained. And I love the fact that she's maintained that about herself.
Yes,
and she still, she still is like that.
Yes.
So, but I mean, it's so aside from then, so you love the way that they look, you love the way how they feel, the attention. I mean, is there anything necessarily that that you wish might be a little better about them, or is it just, or like, do they?
I just love them so much. Okay. But other than,
I mean, clothing obviously seems like it's in the shoe.
Well, I can deal with that.
Yeah.
The only thing that comes with it are the guys who think you're open game to be, what's the word? Nasty. Like there's like you're out and they're like, hey, look at those huge tits and this and that, just being derogatory. It's like, really? Just because I have them doesn't mean
that you want to be you want to be disrespected.
Exactly.
Yeah. Or treated in that kind of a way.
Yeah, if you want to walk up to me and say, hey, I'm sorry, but your tits are perfect and I love them. Mm-hmm. Bring it on. But don't be rude.
Yeah.
That's just being a creep.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is, unfortunately, with huge boobs, even if they're natural too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's like
almost more so if they're natural.
Yeah. The idea that somehow, you don't still treat somebody, in a respectful way.
Right. Right.
And
like you're fair game. I can say this and be that way with you just because it's.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate, but those guys, you just.
Well, and hopefully there's not too many of them.
No, there aren't.
Okay,
there aren't. Good. Luckily, I don't know. People say I have this walking bitch face that I don't know what, but it's like when I walk, it's like you can tell I'm on a mission. Don't mess with me.
Sure.
So when I walk, I just have this look, and nobody really messes with me. I don't know why. It doesn't look mean, but they say I have it. So
yeah, that's funny too because you're so naturally smiley.
I know, but when I'm on my way, it's just like no game playing right now.
Well, the boobs can help clear the path too.
They do.
They
do. It's like
just move them around. And just kind of get coming
smack
through.
them in the head with it.
Yeah.
They'd be like getting in my way every 5 minutes if I did that.
So that'd be fun. Have you ever? I'm curious, like, because I don't know how hard they are. If they're like, are they softer, harder? Like, how would you describe them?
They're pretty squeezy.
Okay. All right.
This one not as much
because it's still swollen.
New,
yeah.
But this one's pretty squeezy. I almost like the saline better than I do the silicone I had.
Okay.
The silicone was just like real. It was fine, but I like the bounce back.
Okay.
You want to feel them?
No.
You can.
We'll do it afterwards.
Sure. Okay.
I was gonna say we'll do it afterwards because I want to keep this YouTube
what a prude.
Good.
Yeah, I know.
I got to keep it on YouTube though. That's the problem.
I'm just kidding.
I know. I appreciate the offer, and
but later.
I'm sure some people would be like, "Oh man, what are you doing?"
I don't care if I lose my channel. We're getting started here.
So I'm trying to make this a big channel. Okay, I'm trying to make this successful. I can't be breaking rules.
That's right.
They're not my rules.
Not yet.
Okay.
One day.
Yeah. Right. So I'm just because because it's funny when have you ever accidentally like been with somebody and you smack them and they're just like, oh, okay.
Yeah. It was funny at the AVNs last year. I went for just a couple hours.
Like this past year, like 2023 or 2022?
Yeah. 2023.
Okay.
And I just went for a couple hours just to check it out, see what it was like. Yeah. So I
think I saw you actually.
Did you?
Yeah, and I was going and I wanted to meet you and say hi to you because I was walking around. I was taking pictures with people. I don't know if you saw with.
I did see some.
I had my logo, my sticker, and stuff like that. And I remember I think I saw you in the lobby. And I was like, oh, I'll probably see her up there. And then I didn't see you again. Yeah. And I was just like, oh, man, she left.
I know. I was just there, just kind of check it out, look at the booth.
Anyway.
And I was walking through, and I tried to miss one person that was coming this way, and he was looking, and I'm like, I caught you. And he laughed, and I laughed, and I turned, and I knocked into a guy with my boobs, which I didn't mean to.
Yeah.
And he came up thinking it was a guy, like mad, and then he went,
oh. Never have I been happier to be bumped by somebody.
He's like, I said, oh, I'm sorry. He goes, no problem.
Yeah.
And then he kind of scurried off.
Yeah.
It was funny.
That's great. Well, I mean, and that is one place where you probably wouldn't stand out as much.
Not as much. There's a lot of gorgeous women there.
And if you're just dressing more, relaxed,
normal.
regular kind of top, jeans, it's like where you see women wearing lingerie walking around.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I got my red hair and boobs, but I'm not like, I'm there to see it, not be it. You know, I'm just walking around doing my thing. So it was cool to see.
Yeah. Would you want to, do you want to go back again to the next one?
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. It was pretty fun. It was interesting.
I mean, it's here, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's not hard to go there.
No.
I mean,
it's
not
just.
like I have to go anywhere. I am going to go to, I think, what's the other one called?
There's Exotica, yeah.
In Miami.
Yeah.
Next year in 2024.
I wanted to go to that one, but it was too close to another trip I had taken. So I was like, because eventually I want to take the show and have like a booth and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, I'm really wanting to go for that one. I think that would be fun. I was invited this year, but everything going on, I didn't want to go with one boob.
Yeah, exactly. And that's understandable.
Yeah.
And you don't want to go to an event like that where you feel like you can't be 100% you.
And feeling not very, being a little self-conscious of it, making sure, and that was another annoying part, always wondering, are they this, are they that, and that, or can people tell? It was pretty hard, but I got through it. I'm fine.
Sure. So when's the last procedure that's coming up for it?
Maybe do it in 6 months.
Okay.
I mean, it just happened like a couple weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
So maybe in 6 months, but we'll see.
Okay.
When the doctors, or I need to decide which way I want to go.
Sure.
Do I want to go expanders where I can gradually go bigger as I want?
Yeah.
Or just get the one and done.
Yeah.
And then not probably go bigger because of the possibility of risk.
Sure.
So there's risk with everything, but I need to decide on what I want to do.
Yeah.
But the thing is I know I'm going to want to go bigger. So why not do expanders?
Well, I'm curious, do you have any, are there women now, and you don't have to name them if you don't want to, but are there women that like, or that you follow on social media that you're like, man, those are amazing and that are kind of like inspire you to want to be bigger, that kind of stuff?
Yes, many of them.
Yeah?
many of them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem. They all look so great.
Yeah.
I won't get to like as big as like Foxy or anything because that's, she's awesome and she owns it and she loves it. I think it's amazing, but I don't think I could handle it.
Well, and there's other factors.
I'm like,
there's more factors like, your different, like your body type.
Different body type, everything.
How much your skin can stretch.
Yes, because I don't think my skin would stretch that far. So, I'll cut it off before 10K.
So I'm curious, do you notice, like, do you think your boobs act as like a beacon to other women with huge boobs? Like you kind
I
of,
think
you
so.
find
it's
each
kind of
other?
Like it's kind of like, I got you, sister.
We're in that sorority.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's almost consoling.
Really?
Like, hey, we found another,
another one of the tribe.
Exactly.
The big-breasted tribe.
Yeah, so we automatically know what the other one goes through or
you have an understanding.
Or that. Yeah, automatically. Yeah. So you love that.
So that's that's great. It already kind of gives you this kind of, it's like celebrities.
Yes.
Because only like really famous people, I think, know what it's like to be really famous.
Yeah.
So, and they're able to.
But with the big boobs and stuff, you're just kind of like, I got you.
Yeah.
And you'll be there for them. Even if you don't know them and you just meet them, if something happens while you're there near each other, you will go help them.
Yeah.
No matter what. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's great.
I would.
Yeah.
I would.
Well, and that might also come from just how you grew up, though, too.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like there's a little bit of a sisterhood.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I do.
Well, no, I think there would be too.
Yeah.
So I don't like, as you said, because it's a very. I mean, I think there are more women that are going in that direction, getting bigger boobs. Because even though it seems like right now, it seems like butts are the thing.
Yeah, but it's starting to revert back.
Yeah, because the 90s, it was all about the boobs. Like, that's when you had, like, the golden age of super busty, super...
And then it starts to trickle down, and it's all about butts, and now everybody's losing their butts to get bigger boobs. And it's always changing. I just want to look how I want to look.
Yeah.
To heck with what everybody else is doing. I'm going to do my thing.
All right. Well, I think on that note, that's a wonderful place to end. And it's funny because I had other things that I wanted to talk about. We had such a great conversation. So I'm going to have to we're going to have to definitely have you back.
Yes.
So anyway, well, Bambi, I think that you're a wonderful person. Thank you so much. So happy to be able to meet. And
thank you. Me too. And I'm waiting on dinner.
Oh yeah.
And everyone keep asking him if he's taken me to dinner yet, because if it hasn't happened,
right? I'll definitely keep on me about that, please. So anyway, all right. Well, I just want to say one more time, it was wonderful having you on the show.
Thank you.
And to all of you out there in huge boob land, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.